guys for tuning in to The Gist with Issa and Grace on
Afro Vibes Radio.
Do you want to introduce our special guest?
No, we both do it.
Okay,
so, guys, introducing the wonderful.
Screw you for the accent. The amazingly talented.
The comedic genius.
The wildly successful.
The Netflix special host.
Zainiab.
Zainiab Johnson.
After we talked about the B part, so tell us, why do people, what is your experience with your name? People saying, like, is it Zainab? Is it Zainab?
And where are you from?
People mispronounce my name all the time. I'm so used to it. I don't hold them. I just say Z. Although I love my name. So the people who get it right, I applaud them. But I always know, like, when somebody is calling roll or like they're calling you for like a coffee or something and they go, I know that they're about to say my name.
Yeah.
That's me. That's me.
Yeah, like, but people separate the B. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's cooler. Maybe they think I'm like.
They're making it special. They're adding a little twist to it. That's all. That's all they're trying to do. It's not that they can't read or anything.
No, I can read.
That wouldn't be why they did it.
Okay.
You know what it is? It's like familiarity, right? So the brain does what it wants. So it's like, I've seen Zena before. I've seen Zaina before. I've seen Dana before. So I'm just going to assume that it's, you know?
No, that's true.
I also wasn't expecting for you to cut it off like that. I was like,
oh no, I just wanted to make that mistake so we can branch into her name. Oh. So thank you for being the scapegoat.
Okay.
She set you up, Grace.
I did. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Oh, the hoopla and sinker, innit? You gets me every time.
Okay, but do you know what your name actually means? Because for a lot of people who haven't heard your name, do you know what it means?
Yeah, so Zainab is an Arabic name. Zainab is a woman in the Quran, but it also translates to either an aromatic tree. In some books, it says that Zainab means a father's precious gift, which I really like because my father named me. So if it means that, then that's amazing.
You did, yeah.
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 I mean, there are no favorites, but
what can I say?
I gotta be careful because my older sister used to always say that she thought I was my father's favorite, and I would be like, no, like, Mom is his favorite. And then when I found out that the name meant a father's precious gift, I was like, well, maybe I am his favorite.
I love it. And she told me before we started the recording that she is not wearing any makeup. She just looks her natural self.
Flawless.
I'm just like, wow, girl, you sporting that real well.
Yeah. You guys are making my day. So I plan to, because I've seen you guys' videos and I'm like, you guys always look beautiful. And listen, I really wanted to celebrate with you. I wanted to get some Black girl magic going, but I had to go grocery shopping. Then I had to do a COVID test, which I forgot about. And it was either like, put on makeup or eat food, and I chose food.
We are glad you chose the former.
Because you're gonna be in the interview and you're just gonna plop. I'm gonna say, wait, somebody, wait. 911.
Through Zoom, we see. Here's our IP address.
Actually,
oh my God.
But I wanted to ask you, how did you get into comedy?
Well, I moved to LA from,
No, I was like, where did it all start, girl? Where did it all start?
So I moved to LA from New York, and I moved with a really close friend of mine at the time. And I hadn't really ever thought about moving to LA for acting. And she was like, I'm moving to LA, I'm gonna be famous. And I was like, this bitch can't be famous without me. Cause I'm just, I know that sounds crazy, but like all the famous women I know, I don't know who their best friend is. You get what I'm saying? So I'm like, I gotta be famous too, because famous people have famous friends.
Yeah.
And then I got out here and I was like, just trying to figure it out. And I stumbled I stumbled onto the comedy scene. Like, I always loved stand-up comedy. Like, I admired it. But I became friends with someone who used to produce shows out here, like comedy shows. And I started working for him. And after working for him for like 6 months, I was like, maybe I could do this.
For a lot of people who want to be, you know, they're Black females like us, they want to be, you know, actors, comedians. How did you stumble on that front? Because a lot of people are probably listening, they're like, okay, well, I don't know anyone, you know, how can I get my start? So how did you stumble on the friend that kind of started to expose you to comedy? Or is there any advice you could give for people who don't?
Was it on Bumble, girl? Was it on Tinder?
Were you dating them?
Wait a minute.
No, but I was gonna say, to be fair, like, so I loved comedy, and comedy used to be like, stand-up shows used to be my pregame. You know how people go to bars and stuff like that to drink before they go to a nightclub? I would always go to a comedy club and watch comedy before I went out to like a dance club, right? Oh. But sometimes the perk of being like a cute young girl, guys want to be around you. Right. But what happens is you don't like every guy, so you end up having a friendship by default. You know what I'm saying? And some of those guys happen to work in the field that I'm currently in. So this particular guy, we weren't dating. We genuinely were friends. I actually used to do a prank show. And he saw me on a prank show and then asked me to be a part of this sketch group at that comedy club.
Okay.
And that's how we sort of built our rapport. And then like a year or two later, I actually went in to like be his assistant one day because he fired his assistant. And that one day turned into like 6 months. And every week I was like booking comedy show, helping him book comedy shows. And then I just, you know, it didn't take me 6 months to have the idea to do comedy, but I think toward the end of it, I was like, wow, I'm editing people's jokes in my mind. I'm really paying attention. I feel like I'm learning a lot without thinking about it. And then I just quit and I went and did comedy. Like, it was just that simple. Like, I quit the job and then I just went to an open mic.
Wow. So you quit the job as a manager and then went to an open mic?
No, as his assistant, right?
As his assistant. Yeah.
And then you just started just going and saying, I want to just do open mics, and you just found ones you could do and just started. That was it?
Yeah, so the first one I ever did, it was at a hookah lounge near my house. And I Googled like open, you know, comedy open mics, and I found one near my house. And it said, when I went to the website, it said first come first, like first 20 people sign up, get to go on. It's 5 minutes. And you may have to like purchase like a drink or something, you know, like purchase like something from the cafe, you know, from the hookah place. And I got there and I was really happy that it was near my house, because I'm like, if it goes bad, I'm gonna just go home and nobody will ever know about this, right? And then I'm like, and if it goes good, then now I have a place near my house that I can perform at, right? And when I open mics, I don't know if you ladies have ever been to comedy open mics, but they're brutal. They are brutal.
Yeah, I do too, so that's why I was.
Yeah, they're brutal on so many different levels. Like, sometimes the comedy really is bad because you have people who may never be professional comedians, but they, you know, want to do comedy, and so they go to open mic.
Ones to me, because I'll be like,
see, for me, I'm the kind of person where I get anxiety about watching people. And like, if I don't know if you're like, if I'm going to like Kevin Hart, for example, I know that he's probably gonna be funny to me at least. So I'm gonna be like, okay, cool. Like, I'll be fine. But if I go and I don't know if you're funny, I feel embarrassment for the person, and I get anxiety, and I don't enjoy it until I'm like, okay, that was really funny. Okay, great. So I'm like really weird with anxiety with that. I just hope I hope you do well, and I want to make sure you do well, and I get scared when you don't. And
but Issa, you know what that is though? You know what that does to comedians? So you ever see a baby or a child fall, and they're like, I don't know. I think I'm okay, but I don't know if I'm okay. Yeah. And then a parent comes and is like, are you okay? Oh my God. And the child is like, oh, I must not be okay, so I'm not okay. Mm-hmm. So like, anxiety is energy, so it travels, right? Mm-hmm. So I see that all the time. Like, I walk into a room where I walk into a club where people don't know me. And it's like, not only do they not know me, but I'm a Black woman. And whatever the perception in the world is of Black women and women, period, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's multiple stereotypes for me to get past, right? And so I watch people go like, what is she about to do? And I watch it turn into, wow, she's really funny. But I've also seen the opposite. I've also seen what you have, which is that's somebody who I know to be a professional comedian. So I know they're going to be funny. So you go in with great energy, like, yeah, I'm ready to enjoy this. And sometimes they meet your expectation and sometimes they don't meet your expectation. You get what I'm saying? So I think that it's better always for a audience to come in neutral.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like, I'm interested in laughing. Right. So do what you do because I'm here to laugh.
That's true. Yeah. No, and I think that, like, unfortunately, there are people that are like, oh, you know, you're Black or you're this, like, you're not going to be funny for me. But, like, what I was trying to say was more of, like, I'm hoping that this person is funny, but I don't want them to mess up, you know? So it's not like you, it's like, for example, if you take your niece out, like, their niece is performing a play. Like, that kind of thing. Like, you're just like, okay, you're good. But that's just my own anxiety.
But a lot of people are like that.
Yeah, I have...
A lot of people are like that. A lot of people have anxiety. Like, I wish that the audience knew what it was like. And I don't know, Grace, if you feel the same way, what it was like from our perspective. Like, I'll never forget. I did this show a couple of years ago. And as soon as I walk in the room, Denzel Washington is in the room. Right?
No!
Yes. So, and it's not no big club. It's a small club. As soon as I walk in, I see Denzel Washington sitting right there. And I'm like, all right. Now, my biggest task is to not say something about Denzel while I'm on stage. You get what? Like, my biggest task is to stick to my material, right? So I'm the only girl on the show. Right. I went on maybe third or fourth, and I noticed there were these girls in the front. Right now, everybody sees that it's Denzel Washington in the room, so everybody want to kill. Everybody want to do good because Denzel Washington is in the room, right? So I go up. So I noticed that in the front row, there's these women, and the other comedians, they kept kind of roasting these women, and I didn't understand why, right? Mm-hmm. Then I got on stage, and I'm looking at the women, and there's just one girl, and she would not laugh.
Ooh, yeah.
The whole time she was just looking up, like. And part of me was like, I want to tell her, you gotta laugh for me because Denzel is watching. Like, any other day, you ain't gotta laugh, but laugh today.
Come on, girl.
Because Denzel is watching. Like, I need you, right? So I ended up not saying anything because I also thought, like, well, all of the other guys, they kind of like said something to her before I got up here. So maybe she's had enough also, right? So at the end of the show, Denzel comes up to me and gives me compliments and everything. And then the girl comes up to me, a little bit later, and she was like, I loved you so much. You are so funny. And I said, oh, why didn't you laugh? And she said, oh, I don't like my teeth. And I was like, let me see your teeth. And she showed me her teeth. And I said, I wouldn't even notice your teeth. Like, I wouldn't even, your teeth aren't a descriptor for me. And she was like, I just don't like them. So I never really smiled. She was like, but I loved you. Wow. And I thought, that doesn't even enter our mind. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't even enter our minds. We just go, I'm trying to be funny and you ain't laughing. What the fuck is wrong with you? Mm-hmm. You know, like, so I always wish that the audience could kind of, I don't know. It's like, I know what it's like to be in the audience, that's the thing. But I imagine you don't know, Issa, what it's like to be on stage and trying to be funny.
I do not. If I ever went on stage, I would probably just drop on the fucking stage. Like, I would. It's so fun. I just can't. I mean, you guys are on a whole nother. Like, I model. Like, that's about. They tried to do me act. I was like, listen. Like, let's not go past what God gave me. Like, you guys have a whole nother. You guys are really, really bold. Because to me, it's that boldness is unmatched. Because to be in front of people and then to not even give them a good show, but to make them now have to start laughing, like to incite that in, it's a whole nother thing. Like it's very, very difficult. But I'm really, really happy that you shared your story and kind of how your start was. And it's really
of course.
See another Black woman doing these things. I mean,
I love the representation. But we have to go on break.
So we have a short break and then we'll be right back. This is The Gist with Issa and Grace. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Your favorite radio station. This is Afro Vibes Radio Houston.
We are back. This is The Gist with Issa and Grace. And today we are talking to the beautiful Zainiab Johnson. There you go.
Your voices complement each other because yours is high, Issa, and Grace, yours is low. It's really a compliment.
Awesome. See, I love that.
I am very tall.
And I'm like so excited to be here. It's so funny because we're so opposite, but then we're also from the same country. So it's kind of like
last week we didn't plan it. I was wearing
it was black and white opposite. So I was wearing a white shirt, you were wearing black shirt. I was wearing white pants, you were wearing black pants.
You were wearing a white dress, I was wearing a black dress.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I was wearing white shoes, she was wearing black
That's what
shoes.
it was.
Wow.
We were opposites. But
Yin
we were
and
matching.
Yin and yang.
Yeah, yin and yang. You guys were in sync.
Talking about boys.
We wanna divert people's attention to Zainab's new African guy, or maybe
She's
something
talking,
like
she's
that.
So what do you think about all the phases of dating these days? They keep making more. There's talking, there's dating, there's courting,
There's seeing.
I think as long as you and whoever is on the opposite end of those verbs, I think as long as y'all have the same understanding of that of that term, then it works. Like if dating means to you what it means to them, then cool. You know how some people are like, I mean, I'm just dating him. And it's like, well, dating to me means you're my boyfriend. And it's, you know what I'm saying? Like,
what about entanglement? Like, does that all?
Entanglement sounds like whatever it is complicated.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, entanglement sounds like whatever it is, somebody's gonna get in trouble after. That's what entanglement sounds like.
We're gonna get her. She's dancing.
Oh my god! But wait, so what is your preferred verb for this African guy?
Mm-hmm. Don't worry.
Getting to know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Getting
to know.
Listen,
but
he is lucky, so hey, let's see if he makes the cut.
Yeah, let's see if he makes the cut. But I'm enjoying the getting to know.
Okay.
You know what? I've noticed, guys. So first of all, hi, I'm a comedian. Oh, that's cute. Wait a minute. So they don't understand, like, I am a comedian.
Yeah.
Do you find guys that like diminish what you do, one, and two, do you find intimidation and insecurity in your success?
Those are loaded questions.
I don't think that most guys that end up getting far enough to like be on a date with me, they already see like I'm tried and true. I'm a comedian. You know what I'm saying? Like you could feel how you want, but it's like my work is out there. And so part of sometimes why they like me is because of the work, you know? Funny, I'm missing his call right now.
Let him wait.
I love black women. Let them wait, sis.
Let him wait.
You got all day.
But you know what really is a pet peeve of mine, or it's annoying? When guys know that I'm a comedian, what they try and do is they try and be funnier all the time. Oh. So like on a date with anything, they try and be funnier. Like they go hard with the jokes. And it's just like, but the thing about me is I'm kind of really serious when I'm not trying to be funny. Mm-hmm. Like I'm very like mellow and calm and serious and kind of quiet. You know, people would be like, he actually said it to me. He was like, you know, my friends and I, we were thinking we would never know you were a comedian if we didn't know you were a comedian. Like just your interaction at dinner. Cause you know how some comedians, they're always on. Like they always got, I just, when I'm not working, I'm just not working.
Yeah. Sorry.
You know, like, I don't know. I think I have more to offer.
Yeah.
Huh?
And that's the thing I was thinking, like for comedians, I mean, it's after you're done, like, or when you're not being a comedian,
kind of
it's
exhausting.
like, you're done. Like, I mean, even for teaching, like, when they're done teaching, they're kind of like, it's a job. So when it's a job, you kind of compartmentalize and say, okay, this is over here. I'm not doing
healthy.
that. Yeah.
That's actually more healthy because then
it must, is it annoying? Like, do people in your circle, like, always expect you to be funny?
Do the afro joke. Do the afro joke.
Yeah. Do people, like, is it exhausting or do they not expect that of you?
No, because the people in my circle, I keep a very small circle. So the people in my circle, they know, they already know my disposition. They already know. The people in my circle are actually very funny. So they get to, they make me laugh. But anybody that, if I walk in the room and they're like, tell a joke, they don't know me. And they probably ain't gonna know me, because that's the worst way to get to know me. You know? So.
That is annoying.
Because then it's like fan versus someone that sees you like on the same level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Also, maybe I'll say this tonight too, because sometimes I start my shows like, okay, it doesn't matter. Sometimes I start my show.
I love it. Even you made us laugh even with that. I love it.
But sometimes I say, like, it's like no other profession. It's only artists. It's not just comedians. But like, if you say that you sing, people will say, oh, sing for me, But like, nobody asks anybody else to do that. If somebody says, oh, I'm a teacher, nobody was like, teach me something. Nobody says that.
You're a math problem here. Solve this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, nobody says that. It's only with the arts that people are like, even if you're an actor, they say, well, what have you done? Mm-hmm. What have I seen? And it's like
credibility, the credibility check.
Yeah. But if somebody says, oh, I'm an accountant, nobody's like, oh, well, let me Google your firm. Like, nobody cares, It's very interesting.
Because I think there's instant credibility with a 9-to-5 job. But then if you're like, doing something like, if you're a creative, then it's like, well, prove it to me, like, what have you done that makes you a creative?
Yeah, but we got to remember that people lie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's a lot of people walking around talking about I work in banking and they ain't had a job in 7 years.
Oh my God. That is true. And that's true actually. Some people are like, oh, I'm a nurse. Or they'll say like I know this girl actually that she said that she was working in accounting. So we all thought she was an accountant, and she's actually an administrative assistant. There's nothing wrong with that, but she did. She just made it seem like she was the accountant the whole time. And then when I wanted help with my when I started working, I was like, oh, can you help me with my taxes? She's like, oh, girl, no. I'm just the administrative assistant. I was like, but you literally made it seem like you were the accountant. So
thank God she told the truth when she did though, because could you imagine? She's like, yeah, girl, give them to me.
Oh my God, that is very true. I didn't think of that. But yeah, people do lie. So, but would you ever like consider leaving LA, or is LA now your home?
I would definitely consider leaving LA, but it depends on where I'm leaving LA to go to. Like, what are some options? What are you suggesting? Would I leave to come to Houston? Probably not.
To move into Tyler Perry Studio.
No. No, not at all. Actually.
Well,
no.
Where would you? Where are some like options, that you would want to
I would move back to New York. I love New York. I'm from New York. I would move back to New York. I think that if I, stayed on the West Coast for long term, I would love to live in San Francisco. Like, I love San Francisco.
Why do you like San Francisco? I'm interested, yeah. I've never been, so.
San Francisco is like New York Coast. Did you hear me? San Francisco is like New York on the West Coast. So there's it's walkable. It's a city. It has beautiful views. It has great food. It is a very diverse city. There's lots of hills, and I don't know. It's just a certain vibe that I kind of like. It's pretty cold though, so that would be like a change for me. It's not cold like New York, but like, you don't like cold?
She wants to recreate Africa wherever she goes. Let's just put it that way.
These fans that are blowing, I'm gonna break them after the show.
Oh my God, she loves it.
Other than New York and San Francisco, I don't know if there's any other city in the United States that I want to live in, but I would live in so many international cities. Mm-hmm. So just name an international city and I would. Huh?
Dubai. No.
Oh my God, you froze. What'd you say?
Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Dubai.
Okay. No, I wouldn't live in Abu Dhabi because I went to Abu Dhabi one year and it was so hot. Oh, like I felt like I was in a sandstorm. It was It was it was just too hot. It was like 115 degrees every day. It was too hot. No.
That is very hot. Okay, but you would live in like London or Paris?
I would live in London. I would live in Paris. I would live in Tokyo. I would live in Beijing. I consider living in Hong Kong. I would live in multiple places in South America. I stayed in Vancouver for a while. I could live in Vancouver again. I could live in Spain. I could live
you're just like me. You love to travel. You're
everywhere.
International babe.
Yeah, I have never been. I've only been to one place in Africa, which is Seychelles.
Seychelles.
I could live there.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful there, honestly.
Yeah, I could live there.
It depends on the work, though, right? Or is it not depend on? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to move nowhere and then work like a regular. I'm not trying to.
Oh yeah. No 9 to 5.
She made that.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not trying to move to Italy and be a waiter. No.
Yeah. Make some coconut, milk or something. Coconut water. Oh my God. 4 o'clock. Yeah. No. I would take a month off and be like incognito, like on the beach.
See, after college for me, I wish I took like that 1 year break, before working.
Oh yeah.
I wish I could.
In Israel.
Really?
Yeah. They have
they just take a year off, and that's just typical, like culturally.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
This man wants to do some schnitzels too. I said, wait a minute.
I hear Israel is like beautiful.
I heard that too.
Yeah.
I can't wait. There are so many places to try. That's why I don't understand. Like people say, like I'm meeting a lot of Americans, especially people from Houston or Texas in general, and they're like, "Oh, I've never ventured out of the United States, and I don't really wish to." I'm like, wait, what? There's so much to see. Like, how can you not? I met a woman. She was 43 years old. I still remember, and she did not have any interest in ever leaving the United States.
I love the U.S.
Yeah, and that's it. She said, we got 50 states, and that's it. And I'm just like, huh.
That's a thing. I met a lot of people, and I'm like, there's so many more things you can do. You have all this potential. It's the whole world.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's like
I like what I like. Yeah.
Level being this well known, and so
I would have been interested in like the why of it. Like really finding out the why of it, because I do think a lot of us have beliefs or preferences that we think came out of nowhere, and they actually stem from something very real, and so I would be interested in her, because I mean, even being from New York, which is a much smaller city than Texas is a state, and I know people who they haven't left the borough that they live in. So New York City is broken up into 5 boroughs, right? And there's people in Brooklyn who have never left Brooklyn, And so I think that's very interesting to me. I would be so interested in, peeking into the minds of those people.
I guess it would boil down to familiarity is the biggest one. I mean, they're just being able to just know where you're going and know what to expect, as opposed to having a foreign country, foreign language, things that are not really, familiar to them. I think that would be one of them. But yeah, it'll be interesting to hear from them, and see why people prefer just to stay where they are.
Yeah.
Travel.
I want to start.
I just prefer to experience things firsthand. Like,
oh yeah.
Some people are like, well, I can see a picture of it on Google, and I'm like,
no,
your eyes are gonna.
No, ma'am, that will not work for me.
So, but to each his own.
That's true. So tell us, what are some of your upcoming projects?
Yeah, I actually want to ask you Netflix too.
Okay.
How you started on Netflix with the 100 Humans.
Yeah. 100 Humans. How did we do 100 Humans?
Through a friend.
not through a friend. Not through a friend at all. That was a series of auditions. So 100 Humans actually was a show titled something different. It started in the Netherlands, I believe, or Holland, maybe. And they wanted to create an American version of it. And they were looking for comedians with science and or math backgrounds. And I have a math background. And so, Huh?
What math?
Yeah, what math? Do you have a math degree?
Trigonometry.
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Math education.
That was like, you know when you ask a question and you don't expect them to say yes? Something else. Wow, that's awesome.
I ain't using it. It don't matter. I mean, thank God. I mean, it helped me get 100 humans.
Girl, I have a geology degree. I do not use that either. So I
But yeah, I went through a series of auditions with that show. I think that it's a cool concept. And again, you know how I said, like, I'm so interested in why people do what they do. That's like that type of show for me. Mm-hmm. You know, like we poked a lot of fun and all of that, but I'm interested like in the why of things, you know, the why or the how of things versus the what. But it took I would like to keep doing the show. You know, I get like messages all the time, like, hey, can I be a human? I'm ready to be a human. How do I be a human? And I'm like, you got to send these messages to Netflix. Like, I don't got no control over them picking the humans or, you know. But I am doing, you know, I have Upload, which is on Amazon. We got a season 2. So at some point soon, provided COVID allows us to, we'll shoot that. I am doing a couple of projects that are in like pilot form right now. So, and if people don't know what pilot, if anybody that watches this doesn't know what pilot means, it's like, that's sort of like the test, you know, like it's like they're going to create something and then they're going to send it out and have it tested. And if people respond well to it, then they'll make it into a series. So there's like a bunch of things on a pilot, like there's a bunch of things cooking on the stove, and we'll see, you know, we'll see in a little bit of time what dish tastes best.
I love it.
What dish is the most fruitful?
That's good. Actually, when I first heard pilot, I thought like airplane. I was like, why do actors need to?
Well, see, I thought of it because, you know, you have like pilot episodes, like the first episode of the first season is
first,
I literally was like, so the first episode is gonna be on a plane. Like I didn't.
I don't know, but we can make that work, right? Because the pilot pilots the plane. The plane can't take off without the pilot, right? So the series can't take off without the first episode.
Yeah.
So we can make it work.
Yeah, you're right. I know what I'm saying, and I don't take that down. That was saying.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that's cool.
And of course, you know, I'm doing stand up. I'm like now getting used to doing it on Zoom. So
how is that?
Like, what if people like give out your codes? You know, is that?
I don't think it works like that on Zoom because Zoom, the host has to let you in.
Oh,
you know?
So do you have like an assistant checking, or even you checking the name?
So every Zoom show that I'm doing, there's a show producer that is running the actual Zoom room. Did I go out for you guys?
Yeah.
Did my screen go black? Sorry. My phone was telling me that I have 20% battery left because I never charge my phone.
Hey, I'm on live. Just boop. I said, all right, gonna do something else.
I guess it's over.
What happened?
Sometimes I'm talking to people and I'm like, I ain't even gonna tell them I got 1% down, but I'm gonna just let it hang up and I ain't even gonna charge it so they can't even call me right back. It's an easy way out the conversation.
That is true.
I am so sorry my phone died. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think as the comedian you don't worry about that. Like you don't worry about people sharing your code. Most people that want to see you, but for most people that I think in Zoom shows, you really get people who are interested in you. It's not like people who you don't just walk up to a Zoom show. You know how a comedy club, it's like you and your friends or your girlfriend might be out. And it's like, oh, what's this? They doing comedy? Oh, let's go in. Let's see what's that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but with Zoom shows, that don't happen. You know what I'm saying? You got to sit your ass down in front of your computer or in front of your, And so I don't think that people share codes like that. But if they do, I hope everybody enjoys the show.
Right. Oh, I love it. And I love like you're very down to earth. You're very like sweet and just very humble, and you own your craft. I love that.
So
this has been such a good interview.
I have one because sorry, my mind. So
Yeah, one question.
do you have people that come to you, I guess, and they like see your beauty more than they see your comedy, or
I think sure, but I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. Like, listen, use what you got.
Right.
Do what you want.
You are you, right? Your beauty, your comedy,
Yeah.
is all part of, your brand, Zainiab Johnson. So,
Yeah, and I think that, I think for a long time, I'm a comedian that will talk about my own beauty on stage I guess, in my own little way of protesting. Like, I like to show the crowd how uncomfortable they get, how people are very comfortable with giving you a compliment, but they're very uncomfortable with you owning that compliment. Does that make sense? And so I kind of play with the audience sometimes in that area. But also, I think when you listen to my comedy, you'll get I think you get past, like, yeah, she is an attractive woman, but she's also saying something that's, I remember when she's my unofficial mentor, Wanda Sykes. I remember I was working with her. We sold the show a couple of years back to ABC. And I remember when I was working with her, I was scared to grow my hair back because I started comedy with the shaved head. And I was like, I really want to grow my hair back. Like, I'm just tired of having a shaved head. Like, I think I'm over this phase now. And she was like, what's the problem? I was like, I don't think people are going to recognize me. Like, everybody knows me now and they know me with a shaved head. And she was like, it doesn't matter what you look like. It's what comes out of your brain and comes out of your mouth. That's what matters. And then once she told me that, it kind of just, it's like, and now it's like so many people who know me, they didn't even know, but so many people who are fans today, they had no idea that I had a shaved head 4 years ago, So, yeah.
I like that. That is awesome.
Yeah, all I want, and this is going to sound so like girly of me, all I want is for the guy.
On the show. It's okay.
All I want is for the guy that I love to tell me how pretty I am.
Right.
That's it.
No, I mean, hey, the thing is that you can be strong, successful, Black independent woman, but I think, we should also, every woman loves that appreciation from their partner, so it's, own that. It's okay. Like, I think it's,
everybody else is like,
yeah.
I'm like, thank you so much. I appreciate it. But the guy that I love, I just want him to be like, you so pretty. And I'm going to be like,
I love it. This girl is
you're
on a whole nother.
Give us some water.
Anybody to bring water to you, Grace. I love this girl. No, this has been such an amazing interview. We are unfortunately out of time. These are the kind of things I wish we had more than 30 minutes for an interview.
It's okay. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much for spending the time and talking to us. I know a lot of people that listen to us are our young audience too, so I'm definitely sure that they are enjoying this. And it's always great to have someone young, someone Black, someone female coming up and talking about their success, and so we just wish you more success. And let us know when you're in Houston.
I will let you guys know, and it's gonna be soon. It's gonna be soon. Like, I mean, within like the next month.
Okay.
Like the next 4 weeks.
Everybody,
party. So
we may have a part 2 of this, guys.
Yeah, you guys gotta. Yeah, you got to show me, because I recognize I be dancing with my shoulders. I need to, I need to.
Girl,
I need to dance with my.
No ways, jeez. Okay, before you see me, I'm gonna have to hit the gym real quick, girl. Because I'm not gonna be taking pictures looking at you. We'll
hide behind her.
I will hide.
No, don't let. I don't know what that camera angle was. Don't let me fool you. I'm hefty. I'm solid. I'm solid.
Yes. I love it. Oh my God.
I don't know if we even ended.
No, we haven't. We're about to. So thank you so much for.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on our show. Thank you guys for tuning in to The Gist with Issa and Grace on Afro Vibes Radio.